Hello all of you wonderful people, Jules here for WhatCulture.com. And I don't know about you, but if there's one thing that puts the shivers right up my buttocks, it's the word reshoots. I mean, honestly, there is such a negative connotation with this word when it comes to films, and to be fair, it's easy to see why, as a film reshoot is likely code for, oh crap, there is something seriously wrong with our movie. However, when you look at it, there have been times when reshoots have actually helped a troubled production. One need only look at Rogue One as an example of this. So what we're going to try to do today is look at some films that are going through such late game changes and try to explain what's going on, if nothing else, just to calm our own minds. So I'm Jules, this is WhatCulture.com, and these are 8 upcoming movies undergoing reshoots and what it means. Number 8, The Voyage of Dr. Doolittle. It's almost bizarre to see Robert Downey Jr. in a role other than Iron Man, but soon we'll be able to see his latest outing, The Voyage of Dr. Doolittle. Well, actually, it might be a little longer because the project is now undergoing reshoots thanks to poor test screenings. Apparently, the cast were called back for 3 weeks of reshoots in an attempt to patch up the movie. Now, 3 weeks of reshoots isn't particularly out of the ordinary for large-scale projects like this, but because of reports of there being a massive disconnect between the live-action cast and the CGI animals, it might well be that the extra work is needed to make it believable. Whatever the case, though, it doesn't speak well of the director, nor is it really encouraging when you realise the film was clocked up nearly $200 million in costs, so either way, it's going to have a bit of an uphill climb at launch. The only saving grace has been that Chris McKay, who worked on the Lego Batman films, has been brought in to rewrite some of the material being reshot, so at least we can hope for some quality comedic lines out of this. Number 7, Men in Black International. Earlier this month, Chris Hemsworth and Tessa Thompson posted a tweet wishing Robert Downey Jr. happy birthday while dressed up in their Men in Black regalia, indicating reshoots were underway on the upcoming reboot sequel, which is due for release on June 14th. Now, fans recently campaigned for Sony to remove Liam Neeson from the film in reshoots following his recent PR nightmare back in February, though that doesn't appear to be the reason behind this additional photography. Like I said before, it's not too much cause for concern, as it is quite common for blockbuster films to do some tightening up mere months away from release. After all, with so many wheels spinning in larger budget flicks, it's easy to only spot something later in the day. After all, primary shooting for this latest MIB film was completed last October, so the production has had a long time to regroup and discover problems in editing. Whether the film will be good or not, though, is anyone's guess, but it is just a reminder that reshooting doesn't mean that there's a huge problem at play. Number 6, Chaos Walking. Doug Liman's upcoming YA adaptation starring Tom Holland and Daisy Ridley is one of the more curious blockbuster projects in development. Originally shot between August and November of 2017, only now is Liman carrying out 3 weeks worth of reshoots. Apparently due to Holland and Ridley's busy schedule shooting Spiderman Far From Home and Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker respectively. The reshoots are running for 3 weeks until early May and come following Lionsgate removing the film from their slate and its original March 1st, 2019 release date. It's currently expected to land somewhere in 2020, but no concrete date has yet been set. Therefore, it's kind of hard to say what these reshoots mean, as the film itself is so ethereal at the moment. However, you could easily suggest a few issues are present because of the long post-production of the film itself. Yet this could be countered by the fact that Liman has been posting frequent updates about it, meaning that it's still very much alive and, at least in his eyes, still worth caring about. Number 5, Jungle Cruise. The initial report about The Voyage of Dr. Doolittle's reshoots also confirmed that Dwayne Johnson and Emily Blunt's upcoming adventure tentpole Jungle Cruise will also be undergoing an additional round of photography soon. This follows Johnson's announcement late last year that the film was being delayed from October the 11th, 2019 to July 24th, 2020. While this might seem a huge delay and an indication of issues, it may well just be Disney trying to schedule the film to drop in a better position and not get swamped by other titles. After all, at present, their 2019 slate is looking pretty stacked. Plus, there's been no indication that these reshoots were the result of deep issues on set, and 7 Bucks Production, a company founded by The Rock himself, has enjoyed mostly smooth post-production processes, so there's no reason to think that the cruise has been sunk at this announcement. Number 4, Annabelle Comes Home. The latest entry into the Conjuring universe was recently back in Atlanta for reshoots, as indicated by social media posts from actress McKenna Grace. Grace will play the 10-year-old daughter of demonologists Ed and Lorraine Warren, who become the next target for Annabelle. But before you think that the horror is escaping the film itself to the production, don't worry, as nearly every movie related to The Conjuring has had some sort of reshooting process. Plus, you have to remember that the principal team for this film is the same as those for The Conjuring 2, so it's safe to say it's in good hands. And as a final reminder, and this is very tongue-in-cheek, these films are pretty simplistic, and actually being good hasn't stopped them from making a ton of cash. So don't sweat it, because this new entry is likely to be the same. Number 3, The New Mutants. Well, here we are, Fox's final entry into their X-Men franchise, which was originally shot between July and September of 2017, and by early 2018, the film's April 13th, 2018 release date has been pushed back twice to August 2nd, 2019. Reports soon emerged that the film was in need of reshoots, and over a year later, they're still yet to happen, with the cast none the wiser about when they're going to do so. With the film removed from Disney's release slate just this week, fans are yet again wondering when and if the initially planned reshoots will actually go ahead. So yes, there is reason to be worried about this project. It was originally reported that the reshoots came about after Fox micromanaged director Josh Boone during principal photography in an attempt to scale back his horror-centric vision. But after Fox cut a horror-infused first trailer which performed really well on social media, they changed their minds and granted Boone the opportunity to restore his original vision through reshoots. Between Disney apparently toying with dumping the film on their Hulu streaming service, the cast having clearly moved on from the project, and Disney only releasing it out of pure obligation, it's easy to assume that the current state of the film is a bit of a mess. It's now becoming an issue as to whether the studio will reshoot to fix the film or just fire and forget it as quickly as possible. Either way, it's not good news. Number 2, Spider-Man Far From Home. Right, I know what you're thinking. Reshoots on Spider-Man? Oh no, what could this possibly mean? Well, you know what? Much like that time that you walked in on me, your mum, that German sausage smoking pit and all of those rubbers, calm down. The professionals know what they're doing. Now try to forget what you've seen. And yes, that was my one per list. Smokey. Just remember that Endgame had some reshoots going on in January, and that film turned out, well, more than okay. So this is likely only minor changes, and it is quite possible that Endgame-related post-credit content is being filmed now, just because, well, there was the issue of spoilers, and well, Tom Holland just blurting it all out in his own interviews. The MCU is a well-oiled machine, so don't worry about reshoots throwing a spider spanner in the works. And number 1, Murder Mystery. It's probably fair to say that most people rarely think of the words Adam Sandler and reshoots in the same sentence, given that the overwhelming majority of his films feel like they were shat out in one take and edited with about as much passion as a chartered accountant's workload. However, it is true they are back on set to record more of his man-child ramblings, and when you consider that the director previously worked on improv-heavy projects like Workaholics, it may well be that, as great as unscripted moments are, that they don't always leave the best choices for the editors. Therefore, Sandler and the gang might be back to rein it in or tie things together. So don't worry. Or at least don't worry any more than the prospect of another Adam Sandler film will cause you anyway.
Look, my son, look at the marvel that I have created. Comics. They called me a fool for trying to put a dead meme onto a t-shirt. A damn bold fool! A damn bold fool with an ass that won't quit. It got quite personal towards the end there. But look who's laughing now! Quiet! Quiet, my son, my ugly son, for my other creation rises. Look at the quality fabric, hand-stitched by blind orphans. The perfect letter spacing calculated so meticulously that Rich Hudson had an erection for months about it. And a colouring so deep that I had to buy the dye off the dark web. Oh, for God's sake, Josh!
Sorry.
Marvel. Oh no, the Beast has grown angry, angered by our drab fashion choices. I am such a fool to think that it wouldn't try to infect us with its perfect design. Quick, we must do something to appease the Beast. Why don't we buy one from shop.whatculture.com? Oh. Look, it's already got Scott Nash.
Oh no!
But where can I buy one? Are you kidding me? This is why I don't give you any extra lines. But also at shop.whatculture.com. Quick, let's go and buy one right now. Let's go buy one right now.
Right now.
Oh, don't you try hard now. You've already lost your bit. Oscar's in the f***ing bin. Ah, there we go. Doesn't that look better? I feel so virile and alive, and it's also fixed your hump. That's actually pretty good. Now, do yourself a favour and act like your mum and spread the love, aka her legs, and buy yourself one of these glorious dead memes on a t-shirt, courtesy of this handsome chap right here. You're very, very welcome.
Cut!
Jesus Christ, mine is so
It's
itchy.
all wet. What?
It stinks. I pissed on yours.
The worst font ever. I want to die.
So there we go, those were 8 upcoming movies that are going through reshoots and why. Let me know what you thought about them down in the comments section below. As always, I've been Jules. You can go follow me at RetroJ over on Twitter. You have been awesome. Never forget that, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye.